Hello, everybody. So recently I came across the recent thing that is going on Netflix with the Netflix show that has introduced Cleopatra and um, all the drama that accompanied. So I'd like to say also one of the things that is very important, and it's actually very important to me as a center of this, as a North African and as a fan of history. Um, First of all, I'll say that I definitely have no problem in whatsoever seeing black actors being casted in any way, shape, or form. I definitely have no problem with that. I definitely would like to see more of the African continent represented in the movies, for sure. But when it comes to history, that is definitely it's another story. It's just not about race anymore. It's about uh, it's about actually facts and about accuracy first. So I would like to begin by saying and try to find a bigger problem here. Why make me this? And also try to respond to the questions, or at least the thing that most people asking about why the Egyptians are rising against this, or why the Egyptians are um, expressing their anger, let me put it that way, for this. And the answer for this is just simple. If you're not an African or not a North African, you definitely don't see this. This is just a tip of iceberg for you. And that is the issue of Afrocentrism. Afrocentrism is definitely a big issue in the African continent and in the whole world. It's a movement that started as a reaction to the Eurocentrism, but actually it got worse, unfortunately, and very extreme as well. It started with Sheikh Anta Diop, who is a Senegalese a scholar, but also, unfortunately, a pseudo historian. And it was in the 60s, and then it still continues till now, which I find a little bit bizarre. And it's actually just growing now, and it get also extreme over time. And basically, it claims that ancient Egypt was a black civilization, and that all the civilizations of the world inherited their civilization from Egypt. Egypt civilized the world, which is not true. Egypt did not civilize the world. The first actually writing system, the first sign of civilization came from Mesopotamia, not Egypt, modern day Iraq. It's a little bit farther away. And also, Egypt did not civilize the Americas, as Afrocentrists claim. And Egypt, yes, sure, may affected the surrounding Mediterranean and European, but also did not civilize Europe like directly. They have their own civilizations, let's say. And second of all, ancient Egypt was not black. They were just North Africans. They were just, that's it, let me put it that way. The modern North African, let me say. They are very distinctive people. They are just, you can define them as that. Africa is big. And exists North Africa and Sub-Saharan. And people should understand that North Africa it must not be related to Europe or the Middle East in order to be identified as distinctive. They are their own people in the African continent, but they are different. And this is it. So the thing about Cleopatra is that it actually hinges to something bigger and a little bit worse, I can say, which is the Afrocentrism of pretty much blackwashing all the Egyptian history and North African history as well. And so, but we know that this is a little bit silly. We know that for the Cleopatra, we know she was a Greek. We know that she was Macedonian. She was not Egyptian, actually, not North African. North African don't claim she was a North African. She came after the fall of ancient Egypt, basically. 3,000 years of history already done. It's very late. So, even after the ancient Egypt fell, the North African civilizations fell, then came the Europeans and the Macedonian conquerors, actually. And so that was very late relative to the Egyptian history. In ancient Egypt terms, it was very late, actually. And the Afrocentrism doesn't stop there. They don't just claim Egypt, which is what they want, but also they claim the other North African parts, especially the Moors. And this is the part where I am from, actually, the other North African Maghreb region. They claim the Moors. You can find Kevin Hart, you can find, I don't know, all the black stars of the North America, basically, claiming the Moors. Even there's a movement, I think I forgot its name, it's in America as well, claiming the Moors' heritage to be black. It's a little bit strange because it was yesterday, relatively. Everyone knows this, comparing to ancient Egypt. The civilizations who wrote and who kept record, they know it's a little bit, was almost like a yesterday for history books. And so it doesn't really stop there. And so North Africans are really facing this stunning problems. We just don't care about our history. And I think this is a problem with us North Africans. We don't value our history. So everyone is grabbing it. First came the European. I think this is a problem that I might talk about it. But there was first attempts from Eurocentrics to claim the first civilizations of North Africa a little bit, whitening it, maybe this apparent in the movies. And then comes Afrocentrics, which was actually a little bit more extreme. And this maybe because we don't care about our history. We just let people claiming it back and forth, Eurocentric and Afrocentric. And it's a little bit really, it's concerning, deeply concerning, especially seeing this as a fan of history, as someone who is barely seeing history literally obliterated by people who unfortunately doesn't value it. And I would say to the African centrists, if you really like history, if you want history, if you're really fan of history, then you would like to make it, really. And if you think that you don't have history, then it is better to make it from now, instead of claiming history of others. Which, of course, I don't think so. I do believe that Sub-Saharan Africa is just like Europe. They have a great history. There's like Asia, they have like East Asia, they have just like anyone else. They have also a great history. They have an incredible history. I can name that. They have a lot. You can look at Ethiopia. It was ancient. Those people were contemporary with Egypt. And with ancient Egypt, you can look at Mansa Musa. You can look at the Mali and Songhai empires. It's really a vast, an incredible, rich history throughout history, you can say. So, by really claiming others, they just like downsizing what they already have, actually. And this is really a problem with the societies of, let me say, the elites of African or black, you can say, societies, which is a thing that I really, unfortunately, apparent, especially in the recent years, is that there is not really a culture of research within the elite of blacks. They just copy what what Sheikh Anta Diop and his colleagues have done years ago, which is unfortunately based on nothing, just a really pseudo history. And they copy it without even anything, unfortunately, which is a little bit, it's really, really common in black elite, let me put it that way. Very common, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, I think that there should be a little bit more education, especially within the black community, about their history first, then about others, the surrounding peoples of North Africa and the Middle East and Europe, and so they can really value themselves and don't see themselves as a people with no history. And so they start claiming others, which is absolutely make it worse even. They are not. They really have a great history. And this is unfortunately things that become really apparent. And I had to talk about. Someone had to talk about this, especially North Africans. I say we ignore our history. We don't care. And people are grabbing it. Everyone is grabbing it. We had the first, pretty much one of the first most ancient civilizations, whatever that thing. Among others, we don't say anything, but we say we don't really value it pretty much like others do, which is a little bit surprising. But I think we should do it more. We should definitely start doing. And this is a call for our North African colleagues to definitely start and try to become more united or interested in their history of the past, so they can definitely aspire for a better future. Because I think there is no future without the past. Huh? I'm not sure about that, but yeah. So that was my thoughts on this whole drama thing. I think it's a bigger issue, but I think it's definitely solvable, and the solution should come definitely and target the heart of the black society, the black communities. Everywhere, especially in America. So that what is. Thank you for watching.